Oh,
It's 6, yeah.
That's Adam from Audience of Citizens, so you're good. You can start.
All right, let's call to order Thursday, May 8th, 2025 Parks Rec meeting. Audience of Citizens, Jennifer. East on Law.
Adam, you are up. All I want you to do is just kind of, Adam is looking, if you see item C on your agenda, he's looking to rent Scalise Field for his company. If you can just give us a kind of run through of what your event is.
Name and address.
Oh, yeah, and we need your, no, I have that. Don't worry about it.
you have everything?
I have your name and address, yeah.
Great, perfect. Hi, everyone. Just a little background. My name's Adam Napotnik. I currently live in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. So I'm about an hour and a half north of you guys. Looking to run a camp August 10th. It's a perfect location for us, being right in the middle of Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York. Also gives us the added bonus of none of those states are allowed to start playing high school football until the following week by all their state laws. I will actually have a co-counselor with me. Former NFL kicker Shane Graham, who lives in Michigan, will be joining me. The reason we're doing an all-day camp instead of something normally we do smaller training sessions is we are bringing in, it's the first time it's ever been used really in this area. It's called TrackMan. So essentially it's a technology that we use at camps that tracks every single thing that we do in regards to kicking and punting. So, you know, you set up the technology on the field, kids come out, work with the technology. It not only ranks them by their age nationally for anyone who's ever used TrackMan, but it tracks every single aspect of what they do. So it, you know, ball height, where the field goal was kicked, where it would have been good from, all that kind of stuff gets tracked, put into a database, and then the kids are allowed to use it for recruiting. We're anticipating, because the technology it has been seen by people who would be interested in coming to camp, 30 to 40 on the high end. Camp will kind of be broken up into two pieces, as you saw, the range of price. The lower end of that is if kids just want to do the instructional aspect of camp and not the TrackMan. Camp will kind of be broken up into TrackMan in the morning, 12 to noon, something like that, depending on how many guys want to use the TrackMan. Then Shane and I will get into a full breakdown instructional period in the afternoon. This is my second year running my own company. I played college football. I was a 3-year starter when I lived in Pittsburgh. I grew up in that area. Plenty of experience, gone through the transfer portal, had NIL, was on scholarship. So I'm always looking to take my knowledge and expand where we work. We do a lot of stuff in Pittsburgh because that's where I'm from, and a lot of stuff in Massachusetts, but would love to kind of move into a new area and help out kids that, you know, I like to expand my knowledge and give it to people who didn't have it. And having Shane, who kicked in the NFL for over a decade, is a huge bonus to be able to run something like this. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me with them.
Anybody? Question?
Yeah, you're all set to pay the fees for the field, you know what the
Yep.
fees are, and you're set to pay those.
Yep. All good to go. Whatever's easiest, cash check, whatever, I can drop it off, send it, whatever's best.
Cash is queen.
Jen loves cash.
So
All right, Adam, thank you.
Adam, I'll shoot you an email tomorrow.
I've got a question. How did you come up with the name?
it was actually, the name of the company was given to me when I think it was a sophomore in high school by an assistant coach. Napalm bombs kicking, and it literally stuck, and it's still stuck to this day. Like, teachers called me that, professors called me that. When I actually got called by my last name and not my nickname, I knew I was in trouble. And when I got Adam and not Napotnik, then I was in serious trouble. But that's where the name came from. And then I actually had a couple buddies put the logos together, and I've wanted to do it for years, but now I'm actually getting it off the ground. So
Cool. Thank you.
So thank you guys.
Thanks, Adam. I'll shoot you an email tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. That's it for audience citizens. That's just Ally and Tiff, our secretary.
Any discussion on consent agenda? Anyone? Let's do the minutes first. Let's do the minutes. Anybody have any problem with the minutes as read, printed? Okay. Motion to approve minutes, maybe?
I'll make a motion, we approve last night's meetings.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? All in favor? Consent agenda, anyone want to discuss any of them?
That's our Dinesh,
Yes.
when I say ours.
I know what you mean. I will tell you that, we did get Alex Jocelyn his invoice and said, once approved, it will be need to be paid for background. You remember the last event he
Yep.
did? Came in at 12:55 on a Friday for his event on the weekend.
Yep.
We did tell him that it has to be in a week ahead of time, along with a certificate of insurance, or I would have to ask you guys if we were gonna cancel it or not.
You say Dinesh, is he?
Any issues?
Dinesh was an old previous commission member,
Oh.
and he's done this for the July party every year since I've been here at least.
With Alex, any issues this past?
So far, no. So far, he's been good.
What's that X-Tan Mandel? Is
That's the guy, that's the guy.
That's their,
Dinesh Patel,
it's like their group
Their name,
name.
the group names, it's
Like
Indian.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, motion to accept, consent agendas A, B, and C.
except agenda items A, B, and C.
As written. Or we should want to
I'll look
approve.
at it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? All right, Parks and Rec, monthly report.
Open for questions.
I run them.
The, I can say that there are the town and the town's new insurance company, and there's been a lot of new policies that have been put in place that are putting a tremendous burden on myself for, because I have so many summer staff and will also be a burden for the winter staff, just extra paperwork, getting extra signatures, new requirements, so, yeah, the paperwork.
It's a lot of
A lot
admin work
of
thrown on
Staff
her.
that you've hired or
Well, some of it, they have to sign off before they're officially hired, if there's, if the town has a new abuse and molestation prevention policy.
They have to say sport.
That they have to go, no, it's not, it's going through Travelers, so Travelers determined it. And then there's new background check, procedure, the private investigator that I use, but I no longer be using. So there's paperwork, so it's a lot, just saying.
The other reason to have this important.
Yeah, it's just.
Well,
it's a
and I-
lot of
I-
admin work just added on to it.
I told the human resource director, it's not her fault, she's been wonderful, but I just said I'm a little overwhelmed with the amount of additional paperwork that has to get done, and like videos that have to get sent out, training that has to get done, because it, all that has to be tracked, which falls all on myself. And I've got about 5-6 weeks to get everything done, and it's a lot.
is it, so the new policy comes in July 1?
No,
No.
it's effective immediately,
Oh, immediately.
immediately.
They changed somewhere midstream.
The-
No, it's brand new.
New one, the insurance company, they switched last year,
Okay.
but this is just things that are,
They implemented policies that you have to implement now.
Right.
which is great, and I mean, it's, you know. It needs to get done, but it's just a lot extra. Extra
It is, it's stuff that should have probably been done years later ago, but now that we have the new insurance, they're noticing that we're not doing these things as a town, so they're starting to implement them.
Doesn't the town have a community resource department or? No, they won't do that. They won't follow that.
Even though that they're an employee of the town.
Listen, you're getting into things that I'm not able to answer.
But the risk.
I was told this is the stuff that my staff needs to complete before they are officially hired and they can start working. Just letting you know, there's a lot of added paperwork that's being thrown on my plate
That's
on top of
unfortunate.
everything else.
Yeah, I got you.
Other than that, I have no comment, because I don't oversee that department, I just oversee.
So,
I don't know, I was, you were starting to say something and I didn't.
Well, I was gonna say, the risk manager, I mean, could we
No.
assist? At all? I mean, that's normally what happens at companies.
No, because there's new bloodborne pathogens, for example, and like no one has the answers for me. I spent like almost 2 hours today trying to get everyone set up and send it out. And it's all like, no. You know, like one person already said, I can't get in. I said, well, you gotta contact them. No one knows anything about it. I'm the first one to do this.
It's all new to everybody.
So like, it's a big learning curve. So I didn't put 30 email addresses, set up all the stuff, set up the
Yeah,
training,
yeah.
send the training out, and now people are having issues. And somewhere along the line, we're getting charged for it, and I don't know where, so. I may have to open 30 purchase orders to reimburse 30 staff to pay for their training.
And
So
some
it's
of these
just a lot.
policies aren't even
And
affecting
no
all
one-
departments.
No one can tell me the answer, because no one knows, because I'm the first one to go.
Who was,
Seems like they need to talk to travelers to
yeah,
get the answers. I mean,
Well,
that's-
travelers will say,
or the
it's a new
agent,
company.
the agent that's involved.
Or I can have 20 times during a month period that I can have people come in and I can sit there and watch videos with. And I say. So it's, yeah, that's the response I've got.
Yeah, that's, so,
I'm just letting you know, there's just a lot of extra stuff that's.
is there any way it can be simplified or support, no?
Not there right now because it's all just still new. We're all still, like she said, she
So you
emailed it out
got-
today. This is what we
Yeah.
have to do, but then we get responses, we can't get in. We don't know. It's all new to everybody.
Contact their helpline, I don't know.
Like I said, it's not even affecting every department.
Right.
Not everybody
You
has to
just
do
have a lot of
bloodborne pathogens.
stuff.
I have the most part.
It's not like our.
And it's happening to hit right
It's
at the.
not.
Well, and it's all like mandated reporter, now everyone has to do mandated reporter, before it was only camp staff, now my entire aquatic staff has to go. So that's more paperwork to, I've gotta send out the videos, get those back.
Yeah.
Just a lot of, which again is not, I have no problem, I think it's good, but it's,
They get certified for that?
they get a certificate on.
Maybe you could have put in the budget that you need one day for all the people to come in and pay them like a paid training day, like I know the Sloper does.
I would, you can never get 30 high school to, I have teachers, so like to find that time, never happened. I mean, I can barely get them all to turn their paper. And now I've got 2 spreadsheets that I have to keep track of all the paperwork and all the certificates that I have to turn. On top of everything else, so.
Sounds like you need that part-time.
Yeah.
No, I just full-time.
Full-time.
I need a full-time
Full-time.
position.
Well, you need a full-time, but you have part-time in the budget, so, if,
Did you
even
get,
administrative, if that's
get approved?
the issue.
Full-time was tough.
Oh, yeah, part-time.
The full-time was tough.
The problem is, it's all coming to my email, so like, then if someone has to access my computer, they can't, because we can't give people our passwords.
No, I know, but it sounds like this is gonna be a continual administrative issue. Maybe you could bring someone in that's part-time that could handle this. I know you gotta go through it first anyway, like you are this
So
year.
I have to sign off on everyone that comes in, I've got to set up the rates and sign off on all that paperwork before it goes up to the town hall, so.
But again, if you had an administrative type person, if you did, you have
The
to,
town
you have
really,
to be willing to delegate a little bit and then, you
with
control
what,
it.
with what you can, but it's, I don't think it's as easy to do.
Oh, it's never easy. Transition is never easy, but either is taking it all and doing it all yourself. You have a part-time position that's in your budget and has been in your budget. I say,
Well,
now you got some things that you can't,
yeah, I'm not hiring someone now, that's,
well, then,
it's all due now.
okay, then, yeah, then you're right, you gotta deal with it.
Plus, that position is a programming position, I mean, I'm not paying someone $26 an hour to do things.
Right, but you're doing it.
Right.
And I'm paying you a lot more than I'm paying a part-time person. I'd rather pay a part-time person, let you focus on bigger issues. That's my opinion, but I understand. But, you got it in the budget. I just,
Thanks, Debbie. I also love
I've
paperwork.
got a question.
Yeah,
So-
good question.
Go ahead.
No.
All right. Judy was a beast. Anyway, so have all the kids who signed up to the interview, I guess, for lifeguards? Have they been notified?
No. I'm still, my aquatic director just came in tonight.
Okay.
So. I was still interviewing people as of last week, so no, they are
Okay.
not all been.
Alright.
So,
One of the kids said next to
well, the thing is, I could send the letters out, but then if I need more people, then, you know, they're
Yeah.
going to get another job.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm trying to be, you know,
Sure.
a little more cautious on it, so no, they have not all.
There's time for that, so now, you know, the pools and so on, but
June 14th. We're opening a week earlier than, I didn't check this around.
how would you guys make out with fishing? Buying date?
Well, it rained, the weather was not good, it was okay. We're gonna look next year to just try maybe one derby and see if that's a little better. I reached out to the fishing, the stocker already, and he suggested maybe stocking Wednesday or Thursday to see if that helps with the fish. But he said because that water is not really clear,
Yeah.
that.
When you
that-
put them in, probably the next day.
But even that though, he said that the clarity of that water is not that great, so that will affect.
It's like mud.
Yeah.
So we'll try that next year.
But I was over there and, you know, the music was playing, there were people there,
No,
When there was
for my derby,
think so, some music for someone. I was over there, they were fishing, it was on Derby Day. I couldn't figure out how many, so many cars were in the.
there weren't that many. There probably were like maybe 40, but we had over 100 reps.
Okay.
And 40 groups of adults, not just kids. Like raffle prizes, we took forever to get winners who were actually.
There's still a lot of fish over there. We should. put
I
that
have no
over with
idea.
our-
No, because what happens is adults go and fish, even though it's supposed to be for kids,
Yeah,
but
they-
we have no way to monitor.
The adult fishing there is
Yeah.
quite a bit. It's huge.
But there's, I mean, what's the solution?
There is no solution.
It's secluded, so hard to monitor. Someone had emailed me and said they went up to someone and said they shouldn't, I said that, appreciate that, they shouldn't front people because you have enough in it.
It's fine.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not,
so,
not
you know
only that story, Donna told me something about that.
You're never confront.
Yeah. So,
All right, Parks and Grounds monthly report, Steve Rigby here today. He asked me to do a disc golf update. He walked the course with the town manager, Ryan, and Mayor Mark. Went through the whole disc course. I had some information going to the insurance, and now it's progressing and moving forward to the town. Make sure y'all. Hopefully it'll be approved. Why not? I think it's great.
Going back to Steve's, this picture, he asked me to show you guys. He would like to replace the old sign on the fence with the sign below. He'd like your blessing.
Well, that's what yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, very nice.
It's nice.
It's kind of
He
mine.
sent me an email exactly what to say.
Jen, where is this one?
That's at Hubbard.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so
More
I'll
budget.
I'll tell him you're on board with that. Also,
I never noticed that tombstone is actually there, in the back stuff,
Yes,
sure.
or the mark shirts.
it is. It's there. It's usually overgrown, but it's there.
I think the portal potty is like, right. usually
Right, you can
next
see it
to
right there, yeah.
So you don't really, right, so you don't, I don't see.
You gotta be in the front of it like.
Yeah, you have to be right there.
Again,
The next page in your packet is this wonderful letter that Lucas pretended to write. Jim Mahoney and Alexa from planning actually wrote it. This is for their sidewalk grant that is due, middle of next week. And just talks about better access to some of the parks and fields in our town and would like the commission to just give the letter its blessing so Lucas can sign it and I can.
Give my wife a sign if I used to.
Maybe just sign it tonight if you don't.
when the monument was moved to veterans, I know the families were notified ahead of time. But when they moved it, did someone notify the families that, or we can ask you?
Charlie's been in full, Charlie and
Yeah.
Peter have been in full
Charlie's
contact
been-
with the
Yeah, yeah.
families.
I actually talked to him about the parade the other day. He talked about everything. They're gonna do a ceremony over there.
So they've been notified.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they've been, real quick, are we good with the sidewalk letter?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure. And then the arts, did I put that in? Yeah,
I don't-
so the last page, I don't know if you read it, Chris Edge has the Arts and Culture Committee that he gets grant money for every year. They're looking to do this arts, culture, and history walk. They're looking to get members of the public involved. They're looking to put like kiosks with informational stuff, throughout like Farmington Ave. He wants people to just be able to go walk Farmington Ave, similar to what you do at the Veterans, and you have these kiosks along the way to learn things. He is looking for a representative from the Parks and Rec Commission that he can include in his community planning meeting. It's probably just one meeting. He's just looking for insight. Because some of the signs will be put like at McClatchy Park or whatever.
So we're gonna put up kiosks to a permanent mark.
I believe, yes, I believe so. So he's just looking for a volunteer that I can give their contact information to him. So when they schedule the meeting, I believe he's trying for a June date. He hasn't set one yet, as far as I know.
I'll do it, nobody else wants.
Where do they get all the money for that?
It's a grant. He gets
Oh.
like, I've off the top of my head, I want to say it's
They have like
$6,000.
$3,500 something like that.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
I ran into him once picking up lunch. He said, he went on about this thing to me for like.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
I like it.
So
That's
you
good.
come up with it. So would you like to?
You just already volunteered. and I volunteered.
So
He
who's,
said if nobody else wanted.
who's doing it? Final say. Are
45 minutes.
you doing it?
I'll do it, I like Chris.
Okay.
Vegas and Tony, shithole. Anyways, all right. Any other questions?
Can we go back to Steve's Parks and Grounds?
We'll try.
You guys saw something about the swing set?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
before Ally and I saw it on the buzz. I let Steve know about it. He called the installer, which is when I took the first call, who saw it on the Berlin Moms group. She called me. I said, it's already been sent to the grounds department. He's already calling the installer to see what the installer recommends, see if it's something grounds can do, or if they have to come out and do it to lower it and see what the recommended height should be. And then she told me she was gonna go back and report in the moms group that she talked to me. I'm hoping that happened.
It did.
So I don't know where that stands.
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen it.
talked to him in 2
I
weeks.
just wanted to say that was amazing. Because the person posted it, you know, and I said, I responded to call the office. And the comments go down below, and yeah, it's already done, they already know, there must be monitoring, and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
that, they're all within like minutes.
Yeah, I got the phone call
All
probably
for a-
10 minutes after I
all for a
spoke to
swing
him.
set.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So,
If there was something really bad.
So they're following up on him.
yeah, I don't know where it stands now. I don't even know if it might have been changed or what.
Then I know Steve's not here, so it's not, but I wanted just to compliment.
Maybe
him and
you
his-
think that once they get the answer, that we post the answer to that initial, you know, just to close it, because
The lady got.
then you're gonna
it.
get someone seeing it 2 weeks from now and it's gonna
Which
bring
one was it? It's on. But I just wanted to say that, Steve and his crew, what they did for the Lions Club, for our VIP fishing derby was amazing. Those benches that we donated, they picked them up at
Yes,
the fairgrounds.
yeah.
It was for the 4 crew members. They brought them down there, they set them in place. Then they did the security stuff to them. They, you know, they sent 2x4s and cement. Those things aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
The benches look fabulous.
And they look nice, the other.
They look really nice, and the day of our fishing derby, I mean, I told Steve this already, Sage Park looked awesome. I mean, you know, we really have to be proud of ourselves, because that park is really is. The pavilion looked nice, we used the pavilion, we had lunch in there, we had the fireplace going, you know, Steve sent down 2 young men from Parks and Grounds. They brought the grill, they hung out for 4 hours. I know, I was a little surprised, but they picked up all the trash afterwards. And
Yeah.
then not only that, but they helped us load our cars. These 2
Wow.
guys were the
Nice.
2 of the nice, and even my wife's like, these are the
Wow.
nicest guys.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted to commend, you know, that group for Albert took care of it, and then right after that, we went to the Bill Pettit ceremony.
You did, it went nice, huh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
real nice.
With the people there.
And the fields, again, I told Steve this already, the fields look the whole place looked really, really nice. It was completely in shape. The ceremony went off great. No, I know there's a lot of convincing or whatever, but on the outside, it really was a nice thing.
I'm curious, as a commissioner, did you notice anything that you should have taken notice of? Did you eat anything while you were there?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from the food truck?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, actually, I didn't eat anything. You're asking me about if there
There was a food truck there.
there was a food truck.
Already had a conversation with Brian Jennings about it. He'll
Yeah,
follow the process next year.
Oh, so they were.
They didn't even have permission from the PD.
we're supposed to.
Showed up.
They're always supposed to have permission to go in.
To sell,
There was a
you
second question.
have to have a vendor permit from the PD. Selling parks, you have to have Park and Rec Commission, town council approval.
They just kind of pulled up.
It was planned.
Oh, come on.
He
Yeah.
put it out there and I'll just say, some things. By that time, I said, okay, just let it go.
Yeah.
To me.
This president,
You know.
I haven't met him, I don't know anything about him, but from what I'm seeing of him, he seems like a really
He's
great
fantastic.
guy.
Yeah,
Communication.
What he's done to put Bill Pettit back into the, and I know there's a lot of both sides of that, but what he's done to bring him back, it's just amazing. He had a guy from, ESPN
I saw that today.
on a
Yeah, it
video
was
on the
awesome.
screen.
Cool.
And the
Screen
guy
on
was
the
talking,
field.
it was talking like he'd known him for his entire life, and it was a really nice touching
That was good.
tribute,
Yeah.
He had,
it's, Bill Pettit has done.
A lot.
There's a few people in this town that have done so much for this town.
Would they say 35
Over
years?
40 years, a little.
45.
45?
45.
And
45 years.
You know,
He umpired, I think he umpired at Williamsport too. He was.
Did some of the Little League World Series.
yeah, he's totally
Big deal.
Just as a side note, I don't know why they need a food truck. My understanding is somebody there has a safe serve certificate
Mhm. Yeah, they went through all that.
selling hot dogs.
Yeah.
So why spend the money on a food truck or?
I think it's because they knew they'd have a ton of people for that
They
day.
had the Bill Pettit hot dog.
They were giving them away that day.
Are
right?
they,
they have gone through all the bells and whistles to open up their kitchen now. It's legit and all that kind of stuff. And, but it's a problem.
Yeah.
So, and there was a good crowd.
It was the same.
Yeah. it was
Did
pretty-
they-
We were at the Hall of Fame.
Police were.
Did they get a percentage?
Oh, yeah, parking was like all throughout the neighborhood.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they had parking at the church.
There.
The police were out in the street.
Yeah, he did a great job,
He did.
coordinate, and I was on the back end trying to get, the mayor. And ended up being, Jack Vizino, for the state and all that. But I said, Brian, you're gonna push these people, I pushed them, I called the secretary, everyone's getting back to him, anyway. But he isn't afraid to go, okay, I'm still waiting for, who am I introducing? I need the information right now. It was like Friday at 1 o'clock, like they leave, so, But anyway, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Seems good. I haven't met him personally.
Yeah.
I've talked to him, so.
And then I was talking, my sister-in-law lives in Glastonbury and she has a daughter, 2 sons. They cover elementary, middle school, high school playing baseball. And they were at the field and everything in Glastonbury and they're like, fields are just, and she's sitting with another mom. She's like, who even has good fields? She's like, who has good fields? And the mom next to her, she's like, well, Berlin has great soccer fields. She's like, I was just gonna say Berlin has the best baseball fields. So I have to tell Steve that, like, they were all like, yeah, Berlin has the best fields, best soccer, best baseball. And this is like soccer to little league to high school to, yep, they all admire. This is comes from Glastonbury, mind you, so, yeah, it was awesome to hear.
And Steve, I mean, he's really good at it, and some of the stuff we do on the soccer field, he's used stuff, this high-end stuff, where we do infield seating during the season. And that's like Cornell University and stuff like that. So I mean, and getting back to the fields, Percival is like, none of the soccer fields are like Percival, it's like walking on poof, the grass. I mean, even though it's smaller, stuff, I walked it today. But I mean, it's great. I mean, that's the best that field has ever been. Of course, we we refurbished the whole thing, but I mean, it's great.
How did you hold up with this rain?
It was, well, I didn't practice today because I just felt that the co-ed team, you know, could do the boys and stuff going 90 miles an hour and stopping. It was fine. It was gushy. Even the crown was gushy when you walk. And I had about,
Right.
yeah, I had about an inch on my thing. And sometimes the water came over the side, but it wasn't bad. I mean, you could play on it, but I didn't want to in the field. We canceled it that day. The other thing I wanted to mention, on the trash collection for Grassler's Berlin. All right. The unfortunate thing is Sal Bornero must have been out there on Sunday after we put the 16 bags out by it was all done with Steve, so we'll put them out there, right? And so he took the picture and went on, it got posted and he goes, I can't believe that people would just dump their trash by ragging them out, you know, they go,
That was Peter Sabar.
yeah,
They're
yes.
both- they're both,
Yeah.
But
Isn't
that
Sal?
was answered.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it was, yeah,
Cornell answered.
yeah, he did, well, like,
Right.
I told him.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and he had to go back because, there were 6 bags that were too heavy. There was like an old encampment there that had tents still, and they were kind of up. There were tarps. There was, support for the tents. There was some extra garbage out there. It's not new, but it's been there for a while. So they're well aware of it and they had to go down there and I guess take that out too. But it was a good thing and Steve was very supportive.
That was great team.
Yeah.
I went by the hydroponic lettuce grower, Chamberlain Highway, go see Dee. And then I went to Chamberlain Growers out there, some local guy named Ed, who's really.
No,
friendly.
he's good.
Yeah, it's fun.
He's
Thanks.
part of soccer. He's
Got
a
some-
wonderful guy.
Got some veggie plants and
Very
nice.
flowers, so it just maybe promote him a little bit. Yeah, some,
He's a horticulturalist too. I mean, he also has a landscaping business.
yeah, he went to school for all that.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's gonna develop down below, he said, for maybe a little venue for a
Yeah.
bar eventually or something.
Or soccer.
He says that when you go past his grove, it drops down,
Yeah.
and you see the mountains. It's beautiful.
He's also talked about doing a Hawaiian cheese place out there
Right,
too.
right. I told him I want cider, you know, good, wine. So, oh,
That
sorry.
hydroponic lettuce place is out of money. It's huge. I just spent enough going out.
Because it's that
it's
first
standing there?
one that's
Yeah.
built,
Yeah.
and then
The rest of them-
nothing
the
else,
rest of
the
them is
same
sprayed.
one, yep.
They're bankrupt.
I thought those little
Are
chickens.
you serious?
The town has an easement for hiking,
Right.
right,
It's actually-
on the side, going back to the
After
mountains, actually,
everything we went through, are they even gonna be able to finish building?
Right, it's, there
Place,
there would be,
everything's just going around and starting to look kind of,
some will pick it up.
I would think so. I mean,
It's already
the
invested.
structures are there, right? So we'll just.
Hydroponic grow, all right. All right, anything else go to the order, new business?
No, just thank you again to Donna, who's gonna take me and Steve's spot at PVC tonight and talk about the feasibility study. So, thank you for that, about the East Berlin Pool Complex.
That's just feasibility for the
East Berlin Pool Complex.
building.
It's just tell them what they want.
Yeah, just no discussions on the emails. If you have a question for Donna, just email her directly.
So is it just a reiteration of what was like presented here and the town council essentially to another?
Yeah, it was presented at town council and then 2 days later they had PVC. So Mike had it on the agenda. He's like, no, I'm gonna email them the new one that you just presented to town council. They talked a little bit about it and they said, well, let's get somebody in here to just kind of like explain any questions we might have. I asked Mike, what questions do you think they're gonna have? I don't know if they're gonna have any questions. Okay, this is great. But just to kind of have a dialogue and talk about what next steps are in the process that they said they would explain, because it's out of our hands now. The whole project
Hopefully there
has
are
been
next steps.
referred to PVC,
I will tell you though that,
What's PVC?
Public Building Commission.
one of the things that came up outside of all of us is that the high school, there's some flooring that needs to be replaced. Emergency type, with a lot of money. So I'm concerned that there goes the surplus funds for the town. I was hoping and talk to the council about using some surplus funds to at least demolish, get things going, show some progress and then put things in, you know, with. I mean, we're talking about 27 by the time the thing's done now. But now, you know, I don't know what the cost is gonna be, but it came up at the last, they had a special meeting last week, Public Building Commission.
What's the flooring thing?
Some between the old, on the old side, but I don't know enough about it. But enough that they had to have an emergency meeting last week, so. So I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna try and find out.
All right, thanks. Last motion.
So that means bonding, and that means. If we wanna push for it, we gotta get people out, you know, so we'll see. So I'm gonna let you know, then you can let maybe the commission.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought it
early
was gonna be under the 5 million.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but
I thought the whole project was under the 5 million.
first phase would be.
First phase.
but they don't have they don't have 5 million or 4.5 million, they don't have that,
We're gonna bond it anyway, okay.
you know, I mean, all we're gonna get is surplus funds, cause they did put capital in the budget. Now they've lowered Board of Ed budget by 50,000 for the next referendum. See how that goes. You know, I don't know where that's gonna come out, but there's a whole other list of capital items beyond this. And at 4.5 million. It's gonna be like, we're just gonna have to wait until we can vote. You know, our Board of Finance isn't big on bonding, so. That's why I do piecemeal, try and get, you know, try and get something going, I think that's the only way. But we'll see.
Berlin PD is having an open house right now, 5:30 to 8, refreshments, canines, equipment, so I think you can enter right there, because I see people.
Yeah, it looked like people,
I saw people walking in that way, so. To see the new renovation, so it was the only other thing I want to say.
Another thing to bring up quickly is, at the soccer meeting the other day, we were talking about, some of the fields and like chairs being on like Staglio. And like working to see like, could this, yeah, and I know Greg and I were like chatting with everybody because it's hard, like I'm one of the supervisors, somebody else is, and we sent out an email, I crafted it, she sent it out, and there still were chairs, despite the fact, I mean, I can send everybody an email, the heading was no chairs. And there still ended up being chairs, and we requested that the information be shared with non-guardians, so aunts, uncles, whoever. We said blankets can be used, you know, we already have the seating, but I think there's a barrier in that, like, most people invite folks, and then they're like elderly or whatever. When they come to the gate and they're not seeing like the no signs, like teeny tiny. So I just think for the integrity and like the investment in the field, it would be good to take a look at signage. Because word of mouth, like we just can't have people patrolling, it's like the fish in Sage Pond, like you're just not gonna get compliance. But you know, a visual might kind of lead to a little bit more understanding and.
Yeah, Steve's already had conversation,
Yeah, okay.
started a conversation with John Riley.
Right, perfect.
So tell them what your idea was.
What?
But 3x4, I don't know. A yellow sign with a red circle on it says no chairs.
Yeah, I know Steve started a conversation with John.
Yeah.
Cause I just feel bad, cause I know it's like the league's done a lot with messaging it out, but I know it just continues to be a problem. I think every season, we're just gonna keep getting into it. And it's not even organized sports, it's people just deciding to show up there with their kids at a
Well,
frisbee and you got your chairs.
Yeah, but to be fair, part of the issue is that we moved to Piscatavio because it was a better place
Mhm.
for the kids to play in weather even like this, right? They can still go out there, a little bit of rain, not playing on the muckus of Sage Auxiliary, right? And so the parents are always used to just flopping down next to their kids. And so, I mean, that's a challenge. And so there'll be an email going out probably tonight by me to all the parents to let them know that, you know, for all the people that use the field. So travel, I don't have a problem with new 15s. We play, every team that comes, well, it's only South Windsor, for co-ed that comes in, but I always email, remind your parents they cannot have chairs on the field.
Yeah, Ron already sent it out to the whole week after Monday,
Okay,
so
good.
it's been messaged a second time, but I feel like you're still gonna get people that are showing.
Also, the challenge is, even though I mean, there was one older gentleman there that was really infirm. And he had difficulty getting in and out of the chair he was sitting in, so I told him to stay, right? But the thing is that unfortunately, you have, like, I don't mind going around and telling people. And they've been very good, I only had one jerk. But they've all been fine, so it's very difficult though to have you and to have, not like, this is Christina, yeah, to go around and tell these parents to move, and they got kids plopped all over the place, and they also have food. And they really shouldn't have food on the field.
Do the chairs ruin the field?
Yes,
Yeah.
it impacts our warranty.
Okay.
And as it is, we have to pay for, right, the ongoing, to make the guarantee valid, we pay for pulling up all the black stuff and then putting it back down, right?
What, like, when we have a field maintenance visit?
Yeah, for that.
That's
Yeah.
part of our maintenance agreement. like-
Yeah, but we have to get that to keep the guarantee intact, right?
Yeah, they come by annually.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. I just feel like, you know, as a taxpayer, somebody who uses it, I want that field to assist. I'd rather take the money and use it towards additional improvements somehow, not to maintain something that we already have.
Right.
We have to take care of it.
In Berlin youth soccer by pushing the ground signs, you know, like those cheap ones.
We're talking about putting them on the fence. So
And even along the walkway, so that, you know, as you walk in, push them in the ground.
wait, probably,
I mean, you get them in, like you said, get them yellow, buy 5 of them.
yeah, they're like,
No.
9 to 10 feet or something.
don't know how long they'll last.
Read. I had someone stand right in front of my office and ask me a question, the sign was right next to them. They got, right there, they don't read.
But would it make sense to have other signs, if you get like wind, or you get like no one's moving it, you know what I mean? Also just residents coming through, period. Like not just soccer, but like other folks too. So I think maybe some that's like chained on there, good, it doesn't look gaudy or anything, but
Yeah.
it's getting the message across pretty clearly.
So-
Yeah.
I'm sure Steve and John will
Right,
figure
so
something out.
you and I talked the other day, so wheelchairs are okay, because we talked about so I'm guessing
Now
strollers,
everybody will bring a wheelchair.
no, strollers are okay too, I'm guessing.
Not on the field,
No,
But
strollers.
on the,
on the track,
On the
I
track.
can't imagine anyone's gonna kick a wheelchair off the track to watch their kid.
no, I'm talking about a stroller, I just thought about it.
Yeah. I'm
Because
sure
parents are
people
over there
walk the track
pushing
with a
their kids.
stroller. Yeah. Talking the track, not the turf.
Well, you guys could just close the gates, not let parents down there at all.
Well, that's what,
There's no
I'm
place to
almost
stand.
saying,
Yeah,
maybe you
stand on
gotta
the outside
have
of the fence,
someone out there, if we put up a sign,
like I did.
have someone out there at that point and say, I'm sorry. See the sign? Yeah, we're not allowing chairs. You
You
gotta
have
do that.
that, it's not to be just like the family members who come in and people just don't think about, like the uncles, and
Yeah,
aunts who
right,
come for
we're
a one-time
sorry.
meet, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then that
And-
requires,
Yeah.
you know, that'd be an adult for a lot of time, like 6 hours a week, you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
more, who's not mags out there, and birds.
So the other thing too is that there really isn't a place for them they can stand on the housing side over there. The other side is not great because they gotta move around some of the stanchions there. And there's no seating, right? And I know Steve had talked that it would cost maybe 25,000 to get bleachers in there, and for one set or two, and also a handicapped accessible pathway. And the challenge is that that's far away from the field, right? And when you have the little kids out there, you know,
They wanted to.
I mean, they're little. I mean, when the kids first started mini kickers, they're all ankle huggers, you know? And it's the first time that they're involved with sports with people they don't know. So the challenge is to make them comfortable. And if mommy and daddy are up there on the other side of the fence, that's a problem. So we just have to figure out a way that we can make it work. So we don't impact the fields and we kind of do what we can to keep.
I mean, it might even be something for BYSA to look at mini kickers not at that field. If parents need to be close to those little ones, maybe Viscogno is not the best home for that program. That's not my decision, that's a BYSA, but that might be something that eventually enters the conversation.
And we can take a look at that, I mean, it's the beginning of the season, we just sent out the email, I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about the larger kids, it's not just Berlin soccer.
Right.
That field, you know what I mean, people are using it, families are coming and hanging out.
Freshman sports.
Yeah. So I just.
Well,
think we
they
look at a
can't-
bigger population.
So I've been over there for lacrosse games. And you know, it says that, you know, you're not supposed to be on the track, but parents over there watching it, and they may have, it was last year, but. And sometimes there's somebody with a chair there, but not often. But the thing of it is that field gets used a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best thing the town has. Those kids are over there practicing, they're playing games, albeit football. I mean, if I may have a soccer practice and kids, you know, want to do football on the side, I'm fine, as long as I'm not impacting what we're doing. I tell them it's okay, because it's great. That is the best thing the town has. The unfortunate thing is, there's nobody there to monitor it. Kids are there with bikes and stuff like that, and that's what I'm doing.
And you made some tiny little opening or one of those zigzag ones, so they can't bring bikes in, they can't really bring their big old chairs in, you know, and like they have to kind of go. You know, maybe if you have a handicap that will just have a key or something, you know, to open a gate for them.
But I mean, that's the, I mean, from a town amenity, that is a pretty cool thing. And I live over there and I see them, all the kids all the time. They're always using, even in the rain, you know, they're out there playing, they're doing stuff. So it's a good place. And it's all, I mean, kids, they kind of congregate there, the parents pick them up. And they usually pick up after themselves. Sometimes they don't, but that's what adults are for. But anyway. So much fun.
Last motion,
What's up?
last motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Cool. Nobody seconded though.
Second.
All in favor? Yay.
And
Jared.